Welcome back to the third and final installment in the three-part series about the past, present, and future of SWGEmu. This is the video we've all been waiting for, which addresses what is planned for the future of Pre-CU Star Wars Galaxies now that the SWGEmu project is complete. I'm Mobius1, and joining me for this final part of the series is none other than LordKator.
Thanks, Mobius. This is LordKator. I've been with the SWGEmu project off and on again since 2013, so I'm not one of the originals. But as you know, in 2017, I stepped up to take the challenge of rebuilding our infrastructure, adding APIs to the SWGEmu Core 3 engine, and creating Eye of Sauron, amongst other things like quality of life enhancements to the game. But today, let's talk about the immediate future and what lies ahead.
To clear any misunderstandings, the term 1.0 means that the SWGEmu project has reached their goal that was set out so many years ago. Namely, to provide an open source code repository for vanilla server daemon software that interacts with the SWG Pre-CU 14.1 client. In episode 2 of this series, the team announced that they have reached that goal and the project is finally complete. LK, does that mean we can expect to see a new server go live soon?
That's a great question, Mobius. The short answer is no. The long answer is more complicated. As you know, in addition to helping us accelerate development towards 14.1, Finalizer was a testbed for non-14.1 changes. And Finalizer provided the opportunity for data collection and analysis to help us drive future decisions. For over a decade, we talked internally about what could happen after we reach 1.0. But it wasn't until Finalizer that some things became apparent for any post 1.0 server. First, we knew we'd have to ensure we had a comprehensive system for server launch that could scale to thousands of players. You might remember at its peak, Finalizer actually got to 2,500 players online. That was no small feat to keep up and running, I can tell you that. We need to provide a seamless experience for users signing up, patching their clients to play, and logging in across all of our services. Second, as we analyzed the data from multiple launches and Finalizer, it became clear that we needed to start the server's initial configuration very carefully. We need to avoid a handful of people ending up with the bulk of the server's best resources, including things like lots, character slots, credit sources, and syncs. Third, every SWGEmu server starts with that fresh server smell and the excitement of unbounded opportunities, which within 90 days falls flat. The data shows that this is due to the lack of post-90-day content. While you can keep building and cycle through the same dreary missions every day, the player isn't challenged to explore new content or find new things to do. Because of this, we need a system that empowers creative contributors to develop new stories with quest lines, new content, such as new items, or even new dungeons and instances. Otherwise, people will burn out within 90 days and 5% of the original population will remain. This pattern has repeatedly unfolded across SWGEmu servers and private side servers. To achieve these changes, we must veer sharply away from the original SWGEmu's project vision. The vision of creating the code for vanilla 14.1 server experience is now complete. With that in mind, the first step we'll take past 1.0 will be to move the SWGEmu project into an archive state. The forums will be changed to read-only and preserved for historical purposes. All the old archived information and ideas will still remain available. The Core 3 and Engine 3 source code will remain as public repositories. We will continue to push JTL updates until it's complete, and we'll push any stability fixes for the 14.1 game. With the completion of the project, SWGEmu can begin to downsize. Since the goal of 1.0 has been hit, we will soon stop accepting donations to the SWGEmu project. Anything left in the account will continue to support the archived SWGEmu site and Nova test server as long as reasonable. Some of our current staff will move forward to begin the NFS team. Others, though, will retire from the project now that it's done. With that in mind, the NFS team is also looking to expand. They're looking to fill a number of positions. looking for a web developer who has shaped the community experience for the project, and work with a graphic designer who will design the public presence on both the website and social media platforms. And of course, they need client developers, Core 3 server developers to extend the SWGEmu code base, including the client, to enable new in-game content and quality of life changes. Since content is king, they're looking for content writers and creators. These are people who will be hands-on in the creation of quest lines, content you'd expect from modern MMOs. They don't necessarily have to be coders because they'd be working with the server, client, and front-end developers to get the content into game. And last but not least, quality assurance. Especially since the new content will be created and developed internally, the NFS team is going to be looking for dedicated and active testers to ensure players have a great experience as the server evolves with new content, new items, dungeons, and instances. If you're interested in any of these positions, see the description for a link on how you can apply today. Since the SWGEmu donations were used to fund the goal of creating a code base that supports a 14.1 Pre-CU server, NFS will not utilize any of SWGEmu funds to finance its own project. NFS will soon announce its own plans to fund its project. Meanwhile, I'm sure you're curious what happens to the existing servers. The current Play server, Finalizer, and both test servers, TC Prime and Nova, will continue to be hosted while SWGEmu funds remain to pay for the supporting infrastructure. Approximately 1 year after NFS launches, we expect to shut down all the SWGEmu servers in favor of the new community-based servers that will carry the SWG legacy forward. Now, take a deep breath. Whew, let that sink in. I know it's a lot. There's more. Hold on to your blaster. You're in for a wild ride. Over the years, my personal contributions to the SWGEmu project has been things like migrating our servers to new containerized technologies, creating a full development pipeline that allows code to be pushed and tested within minutes on our servers, making the lives of our coders and our testers so much easier. As you know, Mobius, I developed the Eye of Sauron to log credits, items, skills, experience, and numerous other transactions. These tools help catch cheaters, but they also provide insights into how players interact with the game at scale. Many people may not know that I also developed the customer support tooling, allows the team to investigate issues, help players sort account problems rapidly, and allows the developers to investigate in-game problems. I have also enjoyed making other contributions to the project, such as quality and life enhancements and adding APIs to Core 3 for automation. However, the bulk of my work has focused on infrastructure and data. The areas I feel the most passionate about on the project are making it easier for our developers, quality assurance, and customer support teams to contribute quickly and safely to the project's progress. As you know, I enjoy digging deep into the data and dispelling myths, as evidenced by my many Use the Data Luke posts. All this said, my real life has been hectic the last couple of years. I've had to deal with 2 deaths in my family, a new crazy job, and my own health issues. These facts weigh heavy on me. I wish I could contribute more, but sadly, real life always wins, and over time, not sure I can keep up with the speed the NFS team wants to move at. With that in mind, I am not planning to be a core member of the NFS development team. Don't get me wrong, I might still pop in and do some server code, some in-game content, extend the APIs or other things. But I can't be in the way of progress, and the main NFS workstreams need to move quickly without me. Now, before you start getting upset, Mobius, give me a moment to explain. I think you'll be excited by what comes next. I think you know I've had a vision since 2017 of creating a single place where the entire SWG community can come together and enjoy many styles of SWG experiences, and remove all the heavy lifting needed to run a server and integrate with multiple services. I've been working on Unix systems for more than 40 years. And since taking over the infrastructure in 2017, I've learned many valuable lessons about the pains of running an SWGEmu-based server. One way I think I can support the entire community is by leveraging my experience to develop a platform that removes that heavy lifting of running a server. Teams like NFS should be able to quickly launch their server, monitor for cheaters, handle customer support requests, debug new content. They should be able to move fast, enjoy the work of creating the new content and capabilities for the community, but not muck around in all the operating system management, managing resources, backups, data analytics pipelines, code deployment pipelines, and all the other mundane tasks. With that in mind, I'm announcing the launch of a new project I will manage called SWG Realms. This will allow me to make the initial investment of setting up a new infrastructure for community servers. And it will allow the NFS team to move forward faster without me slowing them down in the long run. This project will build on the infrastructure I developed for the SWGEmu and extend it to support multiple Galaxies with a shared community of players who can interact with each other while enjoying a diverse universe of SWGEmu-based servers. This service will provide the ability to allow global user logins across multiple Galaxy servers, push client updates, launch different versions of the SWG client, and give access to Galaxy-specific integrations such as websites and verified Discord user access. The goal of the SWG Realms project is to modernize the infrastructure and the security to leverage the scale of a community to support many potential Galaxies. I've pitched this concept internally for years, and today I'm happy to announce that the NFS team has decided to be my first server launch partner on SWG Realms. Since SWG Realms is designed from the start to handle multiple Galaxies, even different clients, I'm also excited to announce that our second launch partner is the CUEmu Team. CUEmu plans to launch their own Galaxy that leverages the SWGEmu codebase, but targets their client and the game content to the CU timeline. The CUEmu team has quietly made incredible progress and are nearing the point where they're ready to allow public access to their own test server. At launch, SWG Realms will have a single community of players who can play on two different SWG experiences by two different teams. This is the start of what I hope will be many new and exciting experiences based on the SWGEmu project's original dream of putting the game into the player's hands.
Thanks to Herculean efforts by multiple developers, the first JTL quest has finally hit Nova. This means that we are nearing the point in which JTL will be publicly enabled on Finalizer. That's right, JTL is coming to Finalizer. For those of you who have not yet checked it out, you can right now log on to Nova, launch into space, and relive some of SWG's finest moments.
Well, Mobius, we're entering a very cool phase of the community-driven SWG timeline. Have you ever noticed a typo in Vader's dialogue from the Imperial theme park, or been irritated that skirts have sockets but won't accept attachments? These are all client-side bugs. SWG Realms will allow the NFS team to address client issues that they have been patiently awaiting fixes for decades in the SWGEmu project. Once NFS and CUEmu launch on SWG Realms, the developers of these Galaxies will have a seamless process for pushing client fixes and paving the way for new and exciting content going forward.
The SWGEmu staff have been discussing goals and direction for over a decade. They identified key areas such as custom content, new pets, housing, speeders, mounts, and planets. While nothing is set in stone, they also suggested making changes that promote at-the-keyboard play, tweaks to the resource spawning systems, changes to hand sampling, incentivizing group play, and skill and ability fixes. Notably though, the team has not addressed lots and slots or any other specific content they plan to implement. However, they have suggested incorporating some content from versions of SWG both before 14.1 as well as post-CU and even elements from NGE. There are things in those other versions of the game that could provide enjoyable gameplay without taking away from the pre-CU experience. The NFS team has also been monitoring and discussing suggestions from both the forums and Discord, and they do recognize a need for a community representative system. This would allow a better method for the community to voice the most valuable ideas to the NFS staff for discussion. The team is not able to say exactly when the NFS will be launched, but as the NFS team grows, there should be visible progress to the community.
Ralph Koster said, We have this problem with the game. People identify as being a Jedi. But at this point in the storyline, Jedi are supposed to be rare and incredibly powerful. As a result of that, the NFS team has decided the Jedi will not be available upon NFS launch. At a later date, they'll implement their own custom Jedi system that borrows a lot of Koster's ideas and original designs. In the meantime, the NFS team will focus on creating a custom content pipeline and other aspects of gameplay.
Thank you all for joining us for the final part of this series and the end of the beginning. Like most of you, I can't wait to see what the future has in store for the NFS team and CUEmu as they both move forward under SWGRealms. Again, I'm Mobius1.
And I am LordKator.
Thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.